Yeah, generally to make these web applications, we used to follow one architecture here. To make such type of web applications, we'll follow one architecture. Not only for these web applications, for enterprise applications also, that architecture is recommended. That architecture name is MVC. MVC architecture. MVC stands for Model View Controller. That Model View Controller architecture is the recommended architecture for making any applications. MVC stands for Model View Controller. This Model View Controller is a simple design pattern. It is a simple design pattern. MVC is a architectural design pattern. MVC is a architectural design pattern. It is a architectural design pattern. It's a architectural design pattern to make architect your application. It's a MVC is a architectural design pattern. So here, as per MVC, your application will divide into 3 layers. One is presentation layer view. One is presentation layer view and one is controller part. First presentation, then next controller, then next model. Application will divide into 3 layers: presentation layer, controller layer and model layer. Your application you need to divide into 3 sub layers. One is presentation layer, one is controller layer and one is model layer. You need to divide application into these 3 layers: view, controller and model. So here view responsibility, whatever the UI we used to show on browsers, that is presentation part. Okay, so your forms, whatever the images you have, whatever the videos you have, everything you need to populate under presentation layer only. So for creating this presentation layer, we have support. For creating this presentation layers, which support we have? We have HTML support. By using HTML, you can design this presentation. And for that presentation, if you want to apply any styles, we can apply styles by using CSS. And if you want to apply any browser side validations, from browser side, if you want to execute any validations, here we have JavaScript. Here we have JavaScript. And is there any other technology for creating presentations? Only HTML, CSS, JavaScript? By using JSPs when it goes to controller part. Using JSPs also you can design your presentations. And anything else? Have you heard Adobe Flex? By using tag libraries. These are advanced technologies. Okay, Adobe Flex you have, right? Adobe Flex. By using that Adobe Flex, rich UI interfaces we can create. Okay, by using that Adobe Flex, you can talk with Java classes. Server side you can maintain Java classes, but you can maintain browser side Flex UI also. Okay, you can use HTML, CSS, JavaScript, JSP, Flex, tag libraries. You can use anything for your presentation. For your presentation, you can use anything. And once if you submit your presentation layer data to controller part, once if you submit your data to controller part, controller responsibility is what? Presentation layer responsibility, it need to show some forms here, it need to show some forms along with some buttons. That is the responsibility of presentation layer. When you submit data from this presentation layer, the data it will export it in the form of HTTP protocol to the controller classes. So once if the data if you submit from presentation layer to controller part, who can receive the data here? To receive data from controller part, we have to use servlet here. You have to use servlets. Instead of using servlets, you can use JSP also here. You can use JSPs also here. You can use servlets, or else you can go through JSPs. Instead of using servlets and JSPs, you can go through filters also here. You can use filter components also here. These all are servlet components only. Servlet, JSP, filter, all these are servlet components. And we have one more component, tag libraries. By using tag libraries also you can read your data in controller part. By using servlet you can read data. Which data? Presentation layer data you can read in this controller part by using servlets, JSPs, filters, or by using your tag libraries also you can read. Or else we have frameworks to read this controller, to read this data, to read data which is coming from presentation layer. You can use servlets, or else by using servlets some frameworks came into the market. Okay, so by using that frameworks also you can do this job. We have struts framework. By using this struts framework you can read your data. Or else here we have JSF framework. By using that JSF framework also you can read your data. Or else we have the famous one Spring MVC. By using this Spring MVC controllers also you can read data. But these all are frameworks. Okay, these are all frameworks. Internally they are using again servlets only. Okay, so to read data which is coming from presentation layer under controller part, the main required components are servlet components. Using these servlets what we can do, we can read data which is coming from presentation layer. You can go through core servlets or else you can go through frameworks. We have struts framework, JSF, Spring MVC, this kind of frameworks. In market we have thousands of MVC frameworks. Okay, so these all frameworks they designed on top of servlets only. Means internally these frameworks they are using servlets only. So finally controller part, under controller part the main important components are servlets. Then coming to this model part, when I submit data from presentation layer, controller responsibility just it need to read data. It need to read data which is coming from presentation layer. After reading data, it need to process your data. After reading data, it need to process. To process data, it need to send the same data to model layer. And in this model part, you can divide your model into one business layer and one data access layer, DAO part. You can divide your model part into one business layer and one DAO layer. After reading this data, the same data it will forward to business layer. Controller will forward it to business layer. Business layer will do what? Here it will do business operations. Here you need to do business operations. Once after execution of your business operations, to persist your data, you need to send that same data to DAO part. Persisting means to store data into databases. This business class need to talk with DAO classes. Then finally DAO classes they will talk with database applications. They will talk with databases. So here to write business operations, simple to write business operations, simple Java code along with your Java transaction API. Here Java code along with Java transactions required. In case if you want to apply security also you may need to apply here. Along with your business code, you may need to write some services like transactions and securities also we need to apply to our business. Okay, so to apply the transactions we have Java transaction API, Java security APIs. By using the transactions and securities, you need to apply security and transactions here. Coming to this DAO part, finally, it need to do what? It need to talk with database. To talk with the database here, we have JDBC. By using this JDBC, these DAO classes, they can talk with databases. Or else we have frameworks also here. Instead of using JDBC, you can go through Hibernate. Or else we have JPA, many other ORM tools we have. Okay, so those are ORM tools, those are not like JDBC, but they can do database operations. This Hibernate and JPA, all these they designed on top of JDBC. Internally they are using JDBC only. By using Hibernate and JPA also you can make database operations here. And here for the controller part we have struts, JSF and Spring MVC. These all they build by using servlets only. And coming to this business part, here you need to write your Java code along with the transactions and securities. By using plain Java code, implementation of transaction and security is not simple. So that here by using this Java transactions and security APIs, Spring given support here. By using Spring transactions you can maintain transactions. By using Spring security you can maintain security here for your business layer. Before Spring what we have, by using EJBs also you can provide this support. You can use EJBs here, you can use EJB components here. By using EJBs also you can provide support to your business part. Okay, so finally for building a complete MVC application, what we required? Presentation layer side, HTML required. Coming to controller part, servlets required. Coming to business part, EJBs are springs required. And coming to this DAO part, JDBC or any other ORM tools we required. Okay, if you want to build a complete enterprise application, you may need to use these kind of technologies here. For presentation layer, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, or else you can go through JSP or Flex or tag libraries. Coming to server side, you can use for controller part servlets, JSPs, filters or tag libraries here, or else by using these servlets they designed some frameworks like Struts and JSF and Spring MVC. By using these frameworks also you can design your controller part. Then coming to this model part, here you can use Spring or else EJBs for your business layer. Then next for doing database operations, here you can use JDBC or Hibernate or JPS. So from this advanced Java session, what we are going to learn here? We are going to learn servlets and JDBC. Servlets and JDBC we are going to learn here. By using JDBC, what we can do? We can make database operations. By using servlets, what we can do? We can read data which is coming from presentation layer part. And here we will discuss HTML and CSS also. Okay. And the recommended architecture is MVC architecture. Which kind of MVC it is? It is not a plain MVC. You can call this MVC as MVC2 architecture. This MVC is MVC2 architecture. Yeah, this is the recommended MVC architecture case. Okay, if it is a simple fund transfer or deposit amount, the use case is fund transfer or something deposit amount. Just I want to deposit some amount into my account. So here is my input form. So in this input form, here I have account number. I need to enter account number here and how much amount I want to deposit. That amount I need to enter here. Then finally, I required one button, deposit. When I submit this deposit button here, by using a account number 123 and some amount 10,000. When I submit this data from here, that data will go to controller class. So here you need to use a servlet class or any JSPs or filters you can use. You can read data, account number and amount. You should read here. You should read your account number and amount. But your controller will not do anything. Just it will read data. It will read data. After reading the data, the same data it will send to model layer. Under model layer, it will talk with whom first? It will talk with business layer. It will talk with your business, so that it will pass that same account number and amount to your business class. So once if it submit account number and amount to your business layer, what exactly it need to do? It need to process the business now. If it is a deposit operation, what exactly need to do internally? If your account number is 123 and already if you have balance in this business, what the business need to do? It need to add the amount to the existing balance. Let's say here if you have a table, in that table you have account number and amount here. My account number 123 and here already I have balance 5,000. So in this deposit use case, for this 123 account, again it need to add 10,000 rupees. Who need to do this job? That addition operation? Your business class. Business class need to do what here? It need to take data, account number and amount from controller class. Once after getting account number and amount, it need to do what? By using this account number, first it need to know the existing balance. So to know the existing balance, it need to take support of DAO class. It need to ask DAO class, hey DAO class, I required balance on the account number 123. So by passing this account number 123 here to the DAO class, by passing only account number here, it need to ask this DAO class, I required balance of 123 account. So it will do what? It will call this account number and it will fetch balance. So it will get balance 5,000 rupees. So that same 5,000 rupees it will forward to business. So then your business will do what? The existing amount and this amount. These two amounts it will add. After adding two amounts, then again what it need to do? It need to update the latest amount. Finally, it will get balance here, 10,000 plus 5,000. 15,000 it will get here. Finally, it will do what? Again, it will call DOO class. A DOO class, you need to update balance 15,000. So this DOO class will receive 15,000 from there. Then this balance, it will update on same account. Finally. So finally, business class doing what here? Business class doing what? Update operations and select operations we are doing by using DOO class. Then what about business? Business doing business operations here. Arithmetic operations are like subtractions, multiplications, whatever it is. As per your business, whatever the business logic you required, that business logic you need to write. Sometimes your business may require services here. Which kind of services it requires? Let's say in one single operation, if I try to deposit in multiple accounts, okay, if I try to do fund transfer to multiple accounts, 1 to 3 account and as well as 1 to 4 account. I want to do fund transfer to 1 to 3 and as well as 1 to 4. Into these two accounts I want to deposit 10,000 rupees. Let's say if you have one more account here, 1 to 4, and here also if we have 5,000 rupees. How many times the same process need to execute? 2 times it need to execute. Means how many update operations it requires to update here? It need to do 2 select operations and it need to do 2 update operations also here. Means into 1 to 4 account also it need to update 15,000 rupees. In that use case, what happens? It will update successfully first to 15,000 here. While updating second 15,000, here, if this execution fails, your operation will become inconsistent. So here, to maintain consistency in your operations, here this business requires transaction support. Your business requires transaction support. So using the transactions, what it can do? If operation happens, both if success, then it will return success. If anything fail here, the previous operation also it will roll back. Means instead of updating 15,000 here, previous user balance also it will make 5,000 only. Then finally it will return to this user, 2 accounts execution is fail. Try again. Such type of messages it will forward. How we can maintain that consistency here? By using transactions. That's why for your business code you required must transaction support. Transaction is mandatory for your business code. Okay. Using Spring you can make this transaction simply by using a simple annotation. Just if you keep annotation transaction, just if you keep this annotation transaction in case of Spring, not in EJB, okay? Just if you keep that annotation, it will maintain consistency. But if it is in EJB, you have to write lot of code. Okay? If you go through Spring, it is simple to maintain transactions, but if you go through EJBs, it's not as simple like Spring. Okay. So to maintain consistency, transactions may require here, and you may require security also here. You may need to apply security here. Sometimes while doing deposit operations, it will send some one-time passwords, OTPs. You need to enter again one-time password to process your operation. So that what you required here, you may need to send some mails. You may need to send some SMSs. Who need to do that? Your business only need to do that. Business only need to send some mails. It may need to send some messages. In case if your operation fails, suddenly if your operation fails and if your amount, if it not roll back, I try to deposit 10,000 rupees. The 10,000 not updated in this account. Even not updated in my account also. If I lost my 10,000, I need to put a petition to bank people. How they can find whether this user came to application for deposit or not? If anything happens in your laboratories, how they can find who crashed a machine? How they can find? Let's say like if you go to a lab, in that lab while doing some lab applications, if you crash a machine, they can find out who crashed that machines. How they can find? While entering into your laboratory, you used to enter some logbooks. So and so system I am going to use, you used to enter logbooks. So here also, while doing this deposit operation, your business need to track all the information into logs. Okay. So here you may need to keep information into loggers. You need to keep your data into loggers. So by reading that loggers, they will understand who came to this application for doing deposit operation. Suddenly if your database crashes, what they will do? They will read log files and they will understand which user came to the application for doing at that particular time. So that logger services also you may need to apply for your business. So the main task is implementation of business. Okay, for doing database operations, simple JDBC we have, and for reading data which is coming presentation, we have servlet classes here. Okay, that is what actually need of business. Okay.